Welcome to Off the Roster, brought to you by our founding partner, Proline. Must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus online, and for Ontario residents only. I'm Lindsay, he's Dan, he's Cabbie. Thank you for joining us for wherever you may be listening or watching from. I know we have people from France, LA, Minnesota, Saskatchewan, but if you are in Ontario, you know the pain we felt yesterday with some ice storm power outages. Thank you for dealing with us during our little technical difficulties, but as I like to say, we back, baby! And we have a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk World Juniors. If you want to know who you should be watching out for, we have the expert that has you covered. We have Raptors 905 and Raptors rookie Alijah Martin on the program. But guys, we have to start on the hard court. Raptors, I have to exhale because that OT game. Then yesterday going to the fourth, they won by a point. If you did not watch the game or you kind of want the Coles notes, we have you covered. The bench, 50 points. CMB, who is not feeling well, just a monster off the glass. And Jamal Shed for Prime Minister. Here's what they had to say after the game yesterday.
To be honest, that first half I was feeling it for sure. Obviously, this is my first game in 5 days, so it wasn't easy, especially not really having much prep for it. I've been quarantining from the team, so it's been a struggle. But found the energy later in the second quarter, and I just got my win back.
If you look at our entire season down the stretch, B.I.'s been our guy at the end of the games, and then Scotty has just, been that guy on both sides of the ball towards the end of the game. So I think we have so much trust and belief in them that, when we do get down to those stretches, the ball has to be in their hands, whether it's going to be him scoring or him playmaking.
Why wasn't Quickly on the floor at the end of the game?
Because Jamal Shed was on the floor instead of him.
The last question to Darko, why wasn't IQ on the floor? And you know what? I'm going to switch it up and not prepare either of you for this because, Cabbie, I'm going to start with you because you had this note when we were talking earlier just about the defense and kind of the trust Darko had in that squad, especially with IQ not being on the floor to start it out.
Yes, I liken the Toronto Raptors defense to a road trip to Cleveland, Ohio with 5 dudes in a Toyota Corolla in August of 2004. The defense was stifling. It was just suffocating. And as Orlando led by 10 heading into the fourth quarter, there are some notable highlights that I want to just mention. And I'm going to start with Jacoby Walter. There was a moment where he's playing tight defense on Anthony Black, who was absolutely cooking us. Steal, Raptors won the floor. Scotty Barnes finishes with a two-handed slam. Orlando is up by 8 with 8:30 left. Then Brandon Ingram blocks Anthony Black with 3:40 to go. Another sequence, which was just incredible defense. Scotty Barnes blocks Wendell Carter Jr. at the rim with 2:53 to go. And then the Raptors denied the Magic for over 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, and Orlando went 0 for 8 during that stretch. And then Scotty Barnes makes another great defensive play. He blocks Anthony Black with under 40 seconds to go. The Raptors used a 13-0 run to erase a 21-point deficit from the second quarter. These guys just play amazing together. And Coach Darko Rajakovic really believes in some of his young guys, who I will highlight next. Jacoby Walter, just a tremendous all-around effort from the sophomore player I wrote. There's one play where he's fighting through a screen. He gets the offensive foul call on Wendell Carter Jr. Big moment for the Raptors. Good, just an emotional moment. The crowd is into it. It's starting to turn the tide in the fourth quarter. He had a great out-of-bounds play. Jacoby Walter knocks down the 3-ball. And, he finished the game. His numbers didn't jump off the page, but his contributions did. He had 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. And as you mentioned, Lindsay, off the top, Colin Murray Bowles, was this his flu game? Because it feels like it was his flu game. Homie is literally shivering because his body is fighting some bug or some virus or whatever. as you mentioned, 50 points off the bench. Sorry, 50 points was the contribution from the bench players. Colin Murray-Boyles was 1 for 4 from the free throw line, so didn't really contribute there, but was amazing on the boards. 12 rebounds last night against Orlando, 12 rebounds in the previous game, or I guess the night before against the Golden State Warriors. He made his presence felt tonight, and although the young fella is battling internally, he battled externally for the Raptors' benefit. And I got to salute those two young players. Dan, how did you see the game? What did you love about the Raptors' 107-106 win against Orlando?
Well, I did love a lot of what CMB brought to the game. And, he wasn't drafted to be a 5 for this team, but he's having to play that with, the injuries that they've sustained and Jakob Poeltl being out. And here he is still giving his best effort. So you love to see that, and you love to see that the Raptors are kind of developing a bench mob light here with what they've got going on this season. And really, there was a couple of curious things that happened in the second half. Like, sometimes I don't want to critique a win, but Darko, as it was playing out in the second half, I'm like, where's Grady Dick? He was the guy that was holding this thing together, keeping the Raptors within earshot of the Orlando Magic. And look, I've been part of the team that's been criticizing Grady Dick this season. He hasn't been as good as he was in his sophomore year, and he came up big. He had 12 points early in the second quarter, and the Raptors as a team had 24. 0 for 13 from BI, IQ, and Scotty Barnes in that first quarter, and Grady Dick comes on to kind of help the offense get into gear. And this is a guy that hasn't been able to hit the broadside of a barn with a beach ball for most of the early part of this season. So good for Grady Dick that he's earning some trust back, but not enough to get played more than just a handful of minutes in the second half. But it is big in a couple of different ways, because things are going to move forward here for the Raptors. RJ, I know he was out with injury management, but once he gets back to being a full-time player again for this Rap squad coming off this knee injury, there's going to be less minutes out there for guys like Grady Dick and Jamison Battle and that Ochai Agbaji, that whole crew. They're kind of fighting to stay in the rotation right now. So this was a big moment for Grady Dick in this game. And that was, just part of the whole, this is how we have to get things done on the second half of a back-to-back. And you got a lot of little contributions throughout the lineup, throughout Darko's rotations last night. And that was huge for the team.
Yeah, I love it. IQ 2 of 12, 0 of 6. He was minus 18. He's having a bit of a rough go right now, but what I love is exactly what we're all talking about right now. You have so many players stepping up, and what I really love is for people who have not been paying attention to the Raptors since last season are finding out who Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed in this season, CMB, who they are as players and how they're starting to develop and continue to develop on this floor. Like, CMB with his flu game is a rookie and had a hell of a performance. And what I also really love is Darko, what we've been talking about, the trust he has and that he's trying and willing to try to give some of these young players chances, which we know in previous coaches within the Raptors organization, that would not be the case. But you also know that would not be the case in other organizations. If you think about last season, how many minutes that the rookies got, whether it be Jamison Battle, Jacoby, Jamal, they were on the court so much that even Garrett Temple said that I've never really seen this happen in my tenure, which that is 39-year-old Garrett Temple, the vet. He knows what's up. I'm so happy for people really starting to pay attention to what this team is doing. Their next game will be against the Denver Nuggets on New Year's Eve, where they're looking like they will not be playing against Joker because he will be getting an MRI on his knee tonight. But guys, the other big storyline surrounding the Toronto Raptors, unfortunately, is Jakob Poeltl and his back. Raptors giving an update on his back saying, he is not going to play for a week. He's currently completing a program of intensive rehabilitation and strengthening. So after that, then they will see how he will be conditioned to play in a game. So they brought in a big man, Mo Bamba. And here's what Jamal Shed and CMB had to say about him joining the squad, who, by the way, he made his debut after not playing in the NBA for over a year. He played 4 minutes last night and had a block. Here's what his teammates had to say.
His skill set and what he brings, and I think he could really help us. And his motor gets going. I've seen it firsthand. He went to UT. I'm an Austin kid, so I've seen Mo firsthand and what he can accomplish and what he can do. So I'm excited to play with him.
Everybody knows that we needed that. We've been running a lot of small ball 5, especially with Yak being out. It's been just me, Sandro, Scott. So definitely having somebody else to protect the paint, get more rebounds, something that we really need.
I'm
The
so
Raptors,
happy.
the
I love
Raptors bigs are kind of like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. They're just like in the room, like, is it just us? Like, is that it? We can use some help out here, guys.
If you're listening, please go check us out on YouTube under the Nation Network just to see that John Travolta made a quick appearance on our show. Like,
Dan kind of looks like John Travolta right now.
We got to get a list of all the doppelgangers here, so it might work out. Baker Mayfield, John Travolta. We can start the list.
Oh, but Cabbie, I have been waiting to talk about Mo Bamba with you because I said something in our group chat I knew you would not like, because there is a song about Mo Bamba. If you have been to Miami, oh yeah, you told me not to, which means I'm absolutely going to bring it up.
I wouldn't have expected anything different from Lindsay.
Yeah,
come on, we know that.
Gosh,
like,
okay.
come on. Which, like, a fun fact, the in-arena announcer for the Raptors 905, Selena, she got engaged. And I'm not super active on social media. I don't check stuff. So I found out a week later. She's like, yeah, don't say anything. I have to do an in-arena hit with her. So I absolutely just went off the rails and said, yeah, 905 are great. But our Karina got engaged. Her face went bright red. So you saying, you saying don't bring this up. Of course I'm going to bring it up. So there is the Mo Bamba song. If you've been to a Miami Heat game in the last 5 years, they played in the fourth quarter. Everyone has like a light going on. I cannot sing or even hum that tune because it is very unique. But I just think they need to be playing Mamba No. 5 by Lou Bega. I pitched that we get him on the show.
That's the one I don't want you to bring up. That's the
I know.
One, like, I like the Sheck West Mo Bamba song. That was a banger in like 2018.
You want me to bring this up. I love this song, Mamba No. 5. Don't you hate on that banger of a song? It connected worldwide.
It is a one-hit wonder. It is largely forgotten. Oh, goodness.
How about a little bit of Scotty in the paint, a little bit of RJ driving the lane, a little bit of Jacoby from 3, a little bit of Jamal making them bend the knee, a little bit of CMB down low, and a whole lot of Bamba Momo. Yes.
All right.
No, I didn't hate that.
I'll give you.
I appreciate the creativity. Yeah.
I'll give you the golf clap for creativity.
Yeah, just like
it has to play. Raptors, let me interview Mo Bamba. We need this song to happen.
We know that Kurt from Four Corners is the in-arena DJ, and if he has some kind of remix where he can find like the right tempo but a different beat and maybe the lyrics, then that's more palatable. But we all know that like one-hit wonders, arenas is where they go to die. Actually, it's where they go to be resuscitated, where there's like the Who Let the Dogs Out, and there's the journey, like don't stop believing, like arena. That's where that's the cemetery for one-hit wonders, and they reappear magically, and I personally loathe it. I'm in like the Miami Heat apparently have a really talented DJ, and Toronto has one too in Four Corners. So I don't know, Lindsay. Maybe Kurt will rip that one clip from this show that you just fired off about a minute ago, and put that, put a nice put some 808s under that or whatever, and the horns and whatnot. But I hope we don't. When I go to a Raptors game, I do not want to hear Mambo No. 5 by Lou Bega. Please,
I want to hear Mambo No. 5. I want to hear whatever other one-hit wonder, which Journey not a one-hit wonder, man. And now I come to you with open arms. Come on, that's Journey.
What song is that?
Open Arms by Journey. I'm not even like an 80s hair metal person or pop, but that is them. Dan, what do you have to say about how great Mambo No. 5 is?
Well, I guess the Rap signing Mo Bamba, at least some rotation questions remain, but the playlist questions have been solved somewhat. This is the ultimate flyer, right? He's a high draft pick, guy with a ton of pedigree. There's so many questions, and just kind of taking a lay of the land of like, okay, why is Mo Bamba, a guy who was a high draft choice, is still just 27 years old? What happened here? And why hasn't he had success at the NBA level? And there's not really a question about his talent. You saw he's like the only guy that's been able to beat Raptors 905 this year in the G League. But it's more a question of, is that effort there consistently? He's one of those guys who's like uber talented, but a lot of coaches and teams he's played for, they seem to constantly want more from him on an effort level. And maybe getting essentially kicked out of the NBA is what's going to give him a little bit more of that push to find the level that he needs to be at to be an everyday NBA player. And for the Raptors, I mean, they're just desperate with bigs. So this is a no-brainer flyer for them to take.
I like the move.
Chumbawamba,
Chumbo. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm thinking a real one-hit wonder.
That's
the Raptors. They're like the comeback kings. But sorry, let's go back to your point, Cabbie.
No, it's very short. It was I was agreeing with Dan that I like the move from Bobby Webster. And there have been rumors that like Anthony Davis might be, the Raptors. I think Will Lou said it on our show that they're, kicking the tires about Anthony Davis's availability. The latest, I think he might be tied to or might be traded to Atlanta. But Toronto does need some help in the interior. So we need some rim protection and hopefully Mo Bamba, if he can give anywhere between 16, 18 minutes a night, get you 6 to 8 rebounds and a block, maybe 2 blocks, that would be probably above expectations on this player who does have a lot of physical gifts and who has bounced around the NBA a little bit, but this could be the great reclamation project that he needs and the Toronto Raptors need as well, while Jakob Poeltl continues to manage his back soreness, his back pain over the course of the rest of the season.
I love this. I love in the chat also that I'm not getting grilled by anybody but Cabbie. We also had someone shout out that the Raptors have been the comeback kings. Sunday, they were down 13. Yesterday, they were down 21, and they came back, which we could do a whole DJ set at the Scotiabank Arena of one-hit wonders that will talk about the storyline. Like I mentioned, Tub Thumpin' by Chumbawamba, I Get Knocked Down. We could do Semisonic Closing Time, which fourth quarter, they've been closing it out. It's been rough, or Come On Eileen, somehow we could switch it to somebody else's name on the Raptors. I'm just not clever enough to think about it. It's too early, but Mambo number 5, make it happen just once so that we can all send Cabbie this video on social media.
Please.
But something that needs to happen on social media, which I know the Raptors have been putting this out there. Darko has been saying this. Jamal Shed has been saying this. Scotty Barnes should be an all-star. I think some people were surprised by the return results, and he wasn't even in the top 20. I will say, in a fun response to a tweet that Ryan Wolstad, he's a great Raptors reporter for The Sun, someone said, I really hope Scotty doesn't make it to the all-star farce. Stay home, rest, send Temple instead. Woo! But how did BI get so many votes and Scotty's not even on the top 20 list? This I can't figure out from Raptors fans who are voting only for BI. How did you end up on that? I don't quite understand.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's like Glorilla. I actually retweeted one of her tweets. She has such a huge fan base as a hip hop artist. I wonder if they're just like either just clicking the link that I did click the link that she said in it, and both Scotty and BI, when I voted as a fan for the All-Star game, Scotty and BI were selected. So I'm not sure, but she does have a huge fan base, and maybe they're just like voting for her boo. And that's how BI got way more votes than Scotty Barnes. Because Scotty Barnes doesn't have a famous girlfriend. He's got just a regular, lovely woman as a girlfriend.
What I'm going to say people won't like, especially if you're in Canada, and I'm not surprised by this. So over the years, we saw DeMar, we saw Kyle, we saw Van Vliet. Heavy push online and on the broadcast by the Raptors. I know when we would be, in the Raptors media booth, you'd get things that are like, hey, vote for Kyle, whatever, for us to push it more. But look at how Americans are shown Raptors basketball. They're not really exposed to it on the major networks. So it's exposure. If you're not seeing Scotty Barnes on a nightly basis on Canadian TV, and if you're not watching, like, why would you vote for him in the States? Yeah, you have a lot of people in Florida who are a fan of him. But other than that, you have Brandon Ingram, who was with the Pelicans. They know his name. They have seen him in the All-Star game forever, and they're constantly being exposed to those kind of highlights. The Raptors rarely make any highlight reel in the United States. So I'm not surprised that Scotty didn't make it. I am surprised that maybe more Canadians didn't vote, but I also noticed that a lot of people do not understand that it's this time of year that you should be voting for an all-star because they haven't been watching our show, which has been on in 3 weeks. For those that have voted, thank you very much. But I just think it's exposure, guys. I really don't think it's anything against Scottie and how great he's been playing, especially this year. He's within the top 15 for sure in so many different categories. But I just think it's that. Cabbie?
You know what it might be? It's just Scottie's game is like, it's effective. It's not pretty, but it's effective. BI, mid-range, fadeaways, gets to that elbow. It's pretty. It's beautiful. Like it's like
throwback.
The mid-range just has it has a resurgence this year. So like BI's game, I think, is like a little more aesthetically pleasing, maybe. And I imagine most fans just experience highlights on their phones. I don't know how many people are like us. We are watching TV, the screens behind me when we watch games. But a lot of people just like, and Adam Silver cut some heat for this earlier. He said it's a highlight-driven league. And he's right. He had to walk it back, but he's right. That's where we experience so much of the highlights. So Scottie's game isn't, again, as aesthetically pleasing, but hella effective, leading the league in steals and blocks. I mean, for heads, real ones know that Scottie Barnes is an all-star and he's putting together an all-defensive first-team campaign. But it's just, we just got to get the word out a little bit more.
I'm just going to call out. I just want to call out the fans and all these people that just don't appreciate good defense, because Scottie's one of the best defensive players in the league, and you don't like good defense. You're not a good fan. Enjoy Scottie Barnes and on the all-defense team and get him to the All-Star game because he deserves it.
Get him in the All-Star game or you're going to see Angry Dan. I love this so
I'm
much.
Italian. Us Italians, we love our defense. That's what we're all about. We won like 4 World Cups because of this.
Is that what you guys are known for?
Defense in the dark arts, just a little bit of
dark arts.
Oh, amazing. I love this so much. But yeah, Scottie Barnes, give him a vote. Vote for whoever you want. But I think that's that. Also, you mentioned social media. There's so many Brandon Ingram clips out online that he is just entertaining. And, give him a vote. Vote for whoever you want. I would vote for Darko also to go. But I know that's not going to happen. But what is interesting that I know both of you are not aware of, because I'm a straight up nerd for basketball. I know you know that. I watch it all day, all night. Don't care what league it is. But NBA on NBC, they've kind of tried something different with their broadcast, which I love. I think this industry, a lot of NBA broadcasts are a snooze fest, and I will not watch them. I'll choose to watch like an away team or something else. But take a look at this. So Austin Reeves, Jamal Crawford, at times you have Vince Carter are part of the broadcast, and where they have them sitting during part of the game is really unique. Austin Rivers, rather.
Beers. I got some space and time.
On the bench. So, yeah. This is from a couple weeks ago. You see Vince Carter on there as well. So yesterday, Austin Rivers, they were in Portland, and he's sitting one spot away from their bench. And I thought it was hilarious because I went and looked online because he was ripping their team for a moment. Can you imagine having Austin Rivers sitting on the, pretty much your bench, ripping your team about defense and offense? And it's really weird to get used to because we're so used to that traditional, we all stand there and talk about this or have the reporter on the sideline giving out a stat, but they have him straight up on the bench. It's different. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Cabbie?
I like the innovation, and I wonder if only former players can do that. If you sat on the bench, I wonder if you would get some side eye. But these guys played in the NBA. Vince Carter's a Hall of Famer. Tracy McGrady, Carmelo Anthony are also part of that broadcast. So it's almost like they have the license or permission to sit on. I think it's a great innovation. I hadn't seen it before. Also, Austin Rivers is a lightning rod in as far as basketball goes because he's kind of a nepo baby. Glenn Rivers, Doc Rivers is his dad. And also he has great knowledge. I don't know if he's the most likable, and I don't know if he has the requisite resume to really critique a lot of other players. It's a great choice, I think, for NBC, but it's a cool innovation. Just having, I wonder if the next layer of that is Austin Rivers will be reporting from inside the huddle, when the coaches got drawing up plays, and he's like, okay, these guys are going to run a boxing one, in this final possession because Steph Curry's got 2 seconds left or whatever, 6 seconds left, and we know how dangerous he is from the outside. That'd be interesting to see. Fun to see too.
It's fun. It's something different. I'm so tired of the basic, boring broadcasts when it comes to a game that is so entertaining. It is very weird and different to get used to, but hey, we'll see. We're going to have Alijah Martin on the show later. We are going to get down and talk about the Leafs. Don't you worry, Leafs Nation. Stay with us because there's a lot of injury reports that we need to get to, but we need to talk about the World Juniors. Canada, 9-1 last night. I know some people have really doubted this squad,
Nice to see.
but we're going to break it down with Daily Faceoff Steven Ellis, who is the man, the myth, the legend that boots on the floor for us, the ground, wherever you want to say, in the beautiful, I guess, I believe you're in Minnesota, or am I straight up making this up right now?
I'm in Minnesota, which is hard to see at points given the blizzard that we had a couple days ago. And it seems like, everyone can complain about like how they handle the roads in Toronto, but I swear they don't know what salt is here. It is so slippery everywhere.
Well, we appreciate you. I was going to say joining us, but joining us rather from the very snowy Minnesota. I spent a lot of time there because I'm from Saskatchewan, so I know all about how the fact that they don't pave or clean their roads. But what I'm curious with you, going into the World Juniors, what were you excited about? Has it lived up to that expectations, or has your excitement shifted maybe to following a different storyline?
I think just in general, it's been, I think there was not a ton of superstar power at this tournament. So it felt like this event was going to be very wide open and that anyone could win. Then you see Canada and Czechia go for that awesome first game. You see Latvia put up a good fight against Canada. You see Switzerland giving everyone issues. I don't think anyone saw that happening. Denmark is kind of the one outlier here where that could legitimately be one of the worst World Junior teams I've ever seen. They've just been terrible from the start of the pre-tournament. But actually, yesterday, I would argue, was one of the better games they've played, and they lost 9-1. So I think when it comes to this tournament, the fact that there's no clear favorite at this point is really exciting, where Canada, Finland, and Czechia are still looking to battle for first in that group, with all of them playing tomorrow on New Year's Eve. And then the other side, USA, they had those struggles against Slovakia, a very young team, like a team with very little experience, very few NHL prospects on it. And then you look at Sweden, where they've had some issues against Slovakia and Switzerland. So the fact that like anybody really is in it at this point makes it really fun.
So in classic fashion, we have Gavin McKenna, who's been the projected number 1 overall pick, I think since he was about 8 years old for this upcoming draft. And as this season has started, Steven, we see that Gavin McKenna, people are starting to poke holes in his game, and people saying, oh, maybe he's not the prospect we thought he was. And bam, he has a hat trick last night. I mean, what are you seeing from Gavin McKenna? What's real and what's maybe overblown about some of the rhetoric around the projected number 1 overall pick in this summer's draft?
It's hard to argue that he isn't the most skilled player in this tournament. Like, he goes out there, and you saw that third goal, unbelievable, beautiful. But that's just kind of what he does. He outthinks opponents. And the big criticism, at least at this tournament, was that he wasn't doing much at 5-on-5. And yesterday he was able to do that. He is still very dominant on the power play. And just like looking at some of the advanced metrics, not the most fun topic in the world, but this is a guy that's thriving in that open space. And for me, I always felt like his play away from the puck was what was kind of his downfall. And that was not a new thing heading into the season, but I think the fact that he hadn't taken any big steps early in his college career to be better at chasing after pucks or playing defensively has kind of hurt his draft stock. That being said, I've talked to a lot of scouts who still view him as the undisputed number 1 best prospect. Part of this feels like it's just people wanting to just throw a bunch of different names, but it's not like Keaton Verhoff's dominating by any means, or even Ivor Stenberg. He played really well against men, but he's having just an okay World Juniors. So I think overall, McKenna is still the best prospect, but it is a closer battle. And I think right now, watching McKenna play yesterday, that was the type of game you were waiting from him. And that line with him and Brady Martin and Michael Hage, like, that's been the best line in this tournament, in my opinion, no matter the team. And watching him play yesterday, that confidence, that excitement. His family was in attendance from the Yukon, so that's pretty cool. And that's the game that we were expecting.
So can we all now take a big deep breath and everybody like calm down, like Canada, okay, they beat the snot out of another team, because if they don't do that early in the tournament, everybody starts to freak out, like, what's going on here? Do we need to have another summit? Can everybody calm down? Is Canada starting to find their stride as a team?
I think so. Like, this is the thing. Yeah, Canada hasn't been as absolutely dominant as we kind of expected they would be with this group. You look at some of the guys that could have been on this team: Macklin Celebrini, Matthew Schaefer, Beckett Seneca, Benjamin Kindle. Like, those are guys that would be number one players on pretty much every other team in the tournament. So I think with them, just being able to figure out what worked, what not. And I think with Latvia, yeah, Latvia got crushed the night after they played Canada. They just looked exhausted. They had like 4 shots on net for about 90% of the game. And then I think with them, just Canada's ability to wear down teams has been very important, because both Czechia and both Latvia didn't look as good after playing them. So I think with Canada going up against Finland, a team that they scored a lot of goals in those first 2 games, but they played the 2 weaker teams in the group. Then yesterday, they struggled to get quality chances on the Czechs. I think that does bode well for Canada. Obviously, everything could change when you do the crossover round, but it feels like Canada is still in a really good spot here to go for gold, and it's partly because no team has kind of separated themselves away from the pack.
Steven, tell us why you believe that Sweden or the United States poses the greatest threat to Canada to earn a gold medal at the World Juniors. And if it's not Sweden or the United States, give us another team.
Well, we'll throw Czechia out there, and I think that game against Canada really showed how tough they are to play against. They have right now the best player in the tournament, which is Adam Jiricek, and if you haven't seen that between the legs goal he scored in overtime last night, that was incredible. But Sweden, they're kind of top heavy. They've got Anton Frundell. He's been unbelievable in this tournament. They got Viggo Bjork, 2026 NHL draft prospect that can't stop scoring. They got some good defenders. Their goaltending's been good, but kind of getting a bit more out of their depth has been an issue for this team. Then you look at the Americans, where they had to battle back against the Slovaks. Again, a team that's very young. We expected the Americans to win that one. Goaltending has been a bit of an issue for that team, and it definitely was yesterday. But if they can get Cole Hudson back after he took a puck to the head a few days ago, he is day-to-day at this point. If they can get him back, I think they're going to be in a really good spot here too, because they are getting scoring from their depth. A guy like Will Zellers, who wasn't projected to make the team, has been unbelievable. So I think right now also, isn't it kind of funny thinking about Zellers being an American guy? I want someone to ask him about if he don't even know about Zellers in Canada. But yeah, I'd say, the kind of the usual suspects are all there.
As I'm in Calgary right now, and I've been watching the Flames, and as they've won 8 of the last 11 games, but they haven't been able to climb out of the Pacific Division. But what have you seen from Zane Parekh that gives you confidence in his game that he can return to the big club and make a contribution right away?
There have been some rumors that he could go back to the OHL just to play a lot of minutes after this tournament.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's necessarily great for his development, because that would feel like a step down for him. But, you actually look at the guys who go from the NHL to the World Juniors, and a lot of times they don't play very well. And I think with him right now, it took a few games for him to kind of get back up to speed. And part of that was because he was injured. He hadn't played any competitive games for a long time. And you watch him against Sweden, and he made a lot of mistakes. But then he started to find his game again against Denmark in that first pre-tournament game, or the third pre-tournament game, I should say, where they won 13-2, and he had 4 or 5 points. But then you still watched him in the beginning of this tournament, and yeah, he was scored the odd goal, but then he was also making a lot of defensive mistakes. So he plays a high-risk, high-reward game, and I think kind of like Lane Hudson early in his career in Montreal, you're trying to go out there and just figure out how to manage that, because you don't want to neuter him here. You don't want to start making it where he can't go out there just flying around making these plays. You want to let him just go, because that's what makes him so good. And I feel with Canada, he is getting a bit more comfortable kind of balancing that right now. So I thought last night was actually a really good game for him. He's getting better, and I think he's built for these big moments. We saw that at the Memorial Cup a few years ago with Saginaw. I wouldn't be surprised if he's kind of the guy that everyone's watching right now, or watching when the games start to really matter.
Nice.
Well, Steven, we know that the Leafs don't have a first round pick until maybe 2037, but for now we focus on the prospects they do have in the organization. And Ben Danford is manning the defense there for Canada. What have you seen so far from the Leafs' top prospect?
It's funny when you looked at the defense core for this team, that felt like the guy that was probably not going to take any shots, but I believe he was like first or second on the team in shots at one point. So he's getting some chances. I still feel like there's some foot speed issues there where he's been getting beat in his own zone a little bit, but overall, I'd say he was one of those guys that was definitely in consideration to sit ahead of that game against Denmark and put Keaton Verhoff there, and part of that was because you'd be subbing a right-handed defenseman for another right-handed defenseman. But I think with Danford, there's nothing flashy about his game, and that's okay because for him, it's just trying to go out there and break plays, play on the penalty kill, block shots, and he does do that. So I think overall, it's been a solid showing for him, nothing too special, but as a third-pairing guy, I feel like he's doing what we expected him to do, and I think that's probably what he's going to do in the NHL. If you think he's going to be a top four defenseman, sorry, you're wrong. But he's definitely going to be one of those guys that do what Chris Tanev could do, hopefully without getting injured all the time.
Yeah, no doubt.
That would be nice.
Oh, yeah. Well, Stevie E, we appreciate you joining us from the always sunny St. Paul, Minnesota, but I don't know what your schedule is like. So I asked in our chat underneath the Nation Network on YouTube right now what you should do in Minnesota. We have some people that watch and they listen from there, and apparently you need to go, let me check it out. You need to get a Juicy Lucy hamburger. It's the best place, and they have the best patties. But also, I'm trying to get Boss Man to give you $97 because I don't know if you know this. They have a same-day tour package of a historic cave tour and St. Paul gangster tour. Have you already done that?
Oh, no, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. I did not know those things existed because it's kind of a lot of Ubers between back and forth. And I swear, it feels like the only restaurant that's ever open, like after any of these games, is Chipotle. I've already been there.
Chipotle's legit.
It's good, man. Well, we appreciate your time. Go to that gangster tour, send us some photos, and thank you for joining us today. You have a great day.
Thanks so much.
Well, we're going from Stevie E, Minnesota to Craigie B in Toronto. Toronto Maple Leafs today taking on the Devils. Former head coach Keefe. You know, we got a whole bunch of things happening today, including some people out of the lineup. If you don't know, well, now you're going to know because Raptors, or Leafs rather, PR, they tweeted out that Tanev and Joshua, they are both out today. Matthews, game time decision, but Nylander was not on the tweet. So I do not know right now at this point of 10:37 a.m. if Big Willie Styles will be in. He's listed as day-to-day. The vibes, they've kind of changed. They were positive, but just when something good starts to happen around the Leafs, it's a little bit of sadness. So, Dan, going into tonight's game, how are you feeling? What are you looking at? Ooh.
Well, I was feeling a lot more positive about the Leafs given their last 3-game stretch, like the 2-0-1. I know maybe the standards have lowered a little bit for this team with the way the first bit of the season has gone, but they have played a lot better. They've started to carry play a little bit more. They're getting more offensive chances. Austin Matthews getting a lot of looks from the inner slot, and we've seen his shot start to come back as well. But this is kind of the story of the Leafs season. Anytime it feels like they're starting to grab some momentum, starting to find their game, a couple of injuries hit them and maybe knock them back a little bit. And Tanev is the big one because it feels like their improved play has sort of started to happen when Chris Tanev came back to the lineup against the Pittsburgh Penguins just before Christmas there. So hopefully it's not a log absence for those guys, and hopefully the captain can be in the lineup tonight because there has been some really positive things about the way the Leafs have played. I don't know if the players or Craigie B has decided maybe dump and chase isn't our game because they've done less of that, and it's resulted in a lot more offense and better looks for this team and less time in their own end, which is definitely a big reason for their recent success. So we'll see if they can keep that up with some of the absences coming tonight against New Jersey.
Well, here's an opportunity for like Max Domi, who gave us one of the greatest highlights of his career, that end-to-end goal against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
This guy's been a catalyst, racking up 3 assists in the win versus Ottawa, and then showing great chemistry with Austin Matthews. What's interesting is like the scoring has been an issue, but it's the third time that win against Ottawa is the third time that Toronto's put up a touchdown in the season. It was 7-2 against Pittsburgh, 7-5 against Ottawa, and I think it was a 7-2 game against Nashville. But the depth players have an opportunity really to make their presence felt like Nick Robertson did against Detroit. My dude had a clapper that was, I don't know, 200 miles an hour on that one timer. Like, and you planted the seed in my head, Dan. Now I watch Nick Robertson with a little closer eye, because when he gets on the ice, it's like, boom, it's like a Red Bull, because he is trying to obviously stay with the big club, but just earn time with the trying to crack that top six. And at times he hasn't. Maybe he will tonight. But I love I love the energy that he brings and some of the plays that he makes and that scoring touch. And also salute to John Tavares, obviously not a depth player, but he's had points in his last 5 games, and he's playing really nicely with Nick Robertson. So tonight, depth scoring is what I anticipate will show some contributions for the Leafs against the Devils and their former coach Sheldon Keefe over there on the opposing bench.
You mentioned Sheldon Keefe, so I have to go there. You know, they brought in Craigie B after they let Keefe go. Was this the grand solution and everything they thought it would be, Dan? Do you think, even in the direction they wanted to go in after, I'm going to say this not so politely, giving Keefe the boot?
Well, I think if you asked a lot of Leaf fans this question when the team was up 2-0 on the Florida Panthers in the second round last year, they'd probably have very different answers to the one they have here on December 30th, because it hasn't been a great start to the season. And I think this is sort of exactly what a Craig Berube team is like. You know, his style, the way he wants his teams to play, he wants them to play heavy, a lot of structure, and it's not always the most fun to watch, as we've seen through the early part of this season. It's fun when you're winning, but there hasn't been enough of that so far this season. And that's the difference between Craig Berube and Sheldon Keefe. I think Keefe was a lot more calculating. He understood, or really found ways to maximize the Leafs squad over the course of an 82-game season and look for little ways to get a little bit of an advantage. And it wasn't always the most playoff ready style of play, and we saw that play out in the postseason under Sheldon Keefe, but it might be one that's more conducive to sustained success over the regular season. The way Craig Berube has this team playing, you're seeing it with all these injuries. Like it's a hard game to play. You're seeing it with their inconsistent efforts on a night-to-night basis where they just look lethargic in this heavy Olympic year schedule. I think that's played a big part in the Leafs' slow start to the season. So there's pros and cons to the way both of these guys coach their squads. And the idea of bringing Craig Berube in to induce or have a more playoff style of play for this Leafs team worked to an extent last year, but you're starting to feel the pains of it through this first half of this season.
Feeling the pain of the injury report. I just checked out Elliot Friedman on Twitter. Lovely human, like just one of the nicest guys. He says that Tanev's injury is not related to previous injuries, but could be out for some time. Tanev, or Tan Man, as you called him, which I hated, but I'll bring it up. The Tan Man is also a great person. He put up with my baloney this year at a Blue Jays game. I interviewed him and Gosman at the same time with his brother. And you hate to see players who just come back from injury after such a long time go back down. And then, Matthews, I forgot to say, was a shot blocked related on Sunday. So positive vibes to anybody going through stuff right now. We do wish you well, whatever that may be in life, but especially Chris Tanev. We hope you get better rather from what's happening, but we do have a bit of an issue right now with Fanatics. And I'm just going to say it, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah. Some Eagle-Eyed Sleuths found out that, hey, they had some jerseys for Team Canada up on their website. And if you're not in the know, also, we will have an interview with Alijah Martin of the Raptors 905 and Raptors coming up in a couple of minutes. But they're apparently selling 2026 Olympic team memorabilia already. The team is only going to officially be announced tomorrow, and some of the merch includes Nick Suzuki and Mitch Marner. So, Dan, are you going to be surprised if Nick Suzuki is named to the Olympic roster tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time?
I don't think I'll be surprised anymore. You know, I look, all due respect to Nick Suzuki, he's last 12 months, he's been one of the best players in the National Hockey League, period, bar none. And he's earned this call up, assuming that Fanatics hasn't screwed this up royally by having some of this merch already being made and sold. But I kind of I feel bad. Look, it's a great moment for Nick Suzuki, and he's not going to be too upset that he's made Team Canada. But I don't know, if I was a player, I would want to get that call from the GM of the team, in this case, Doug Armstrong, and have that moment where that's when I find out that I've made the team. As one of the bubble guys, I've done enough. The hard work I put in over the offseason, the goal that I had set, the one that I put on my vision board, I'm going to play for Team Canada at the Milano Olympics. And I get that call to confirm it. I feel like you've taken away that moment from them, Fanatics. And, of all the, jersey screw ups that we see online and everything like that, this one's maybe a little bit worse for me than, screwing up somebody's jersey number when you send it out to a customer. Things happen sometimes. This one, I don't know who made this mistake, but it's a tough one to make.
They obviously know more than what we know. If someone in the marketing department of Team Canada is like, all right, this is what we're going with. But then the folks, just someone in IT or just some programmer at Fanatics is just data entering, just da-da-da-da-da, and just uploads, or maybe they send it overseas to some geniuses in Sri Lanka who just uploading the site, and they didn't know that was supposed to go live. They're supposed to wait till December 31st or January 1st to go live. So obviously they know something that we don't know. But you're right. They're some of the enthusiasm of the surprise is now gone. If in fact Nick Suzuki and Mitch Marner, who earned the right to represent Canada at the Winter Games, if they are indeed announced tomorrow for making the squad. Mistake release the Blue Jays World Series champions merch, that would be an okay mistake release.
I will buy that.
Because we know they made them, right? We know they were made and designed.
Yeah.
Wounds are still healing, my G.
I'd still buy it. I'm okay with it. I thought it was awesome. I freaking love that squad, and I can't wait for baseball to come back. Friendly reminder, pitchers and catchers, they will report to Dunedin, Florida on February 11th. But a jersey
Can you believe Andy Pages made that catch? I'm sorry.
No, man. Come on.
Can you believe,
Dan,
how did he make that catch? How did he make the catch?
Mute his mic, and a jersey mistake
Dan,
I would love to see.
How did the ball get wedged in the bottom of the wall? That's never happened on Earth. The ball getting wedged at the bottom of the wall like that, bro. What?
At the Rogers Center, yeah. That was
and then also IFK's cleat. If it's an eighth of an inch longer, we win the World Series. Or if he takes I know
he's got a size 14 boot. Jays win the World Series.
He's got to have a size 15 this year.
This is the last time I'm going to let you talk about this in 2025, guys. We gotta let it go. It's still soon. Yeah. I have not actually processed any of this. I still have not watched game 6 or 7. I was there in person, and I don't plan on watching those highlights anytime soon. But a jersey mistake I would like to see on Fanatics is for Raptors new player Mo Bamba, for them to give him number 5, which Emmanuel quickly has, because then I could wear Bamba number 5, which, by the way, number 55 for Raptors 905, stick with me, guys, is Alijah Martin. So, and he was 15 forever. He couldn't take 15 with the Raptors because that is the only retired jersey for the Raptors, given to none other than Vince Carter, who, you love him or hate him. I love him. I think he's a great guy. But Alijah Martin has been tearing it up with the 905. If you're a Florida Gators fan, you already know all about him. But what I really enjoy about him is what he's doing away from the court. I've been covering the Raptors for 11 years in person, and this is the first time I've ever seen a rookie or a two-way player so actively try to give back in the community so soon in his career. Yesterday afternoon, I had the chance to catch up with him at a Boys and Girls Club in Scarborough, where he just wanted to, give them some joy around the holidays. There was gift cards given out. He hosted a little basketball clinic, and he had a pizza party with them. So here's a couple quick minutes from our conversation. This is something that you've made an effort to do. What has it been like for you to see the reaction, not only from kids, but people of all ages?
It's inspiring. It's inspiring to keep doing more. I encourage every athlete to get out in the community and do something Because once you do it once, you'll want to do it two times, 3 times, or whatever. But it's very important because, like I say, it's how I came up.
When we talk about how you came up, when we go back to Mississippi, after you were drafted and after you won the championship, they had a parade.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like standing there throwing out, I saw you throw out like little raptor stuffed animals. Just there was such an embrace for you.
Oh, man, that was amazing. Just to see the love in the community come out and to support me, congratulate me, it was everything. And that's one of my whys why I keep going, because I know everybody back home watching and supporting and just trying to inspire as well back home as well.
As I mentioned, you're in your rookie season with the Raptors organization, so I'm going to talk about some firsts that have happened for you. I did ask you after it happened about getting your first NBA minutes. What do you remember about, checking in that experience?
I remember just being so jittery to the point where I had an easy layup and I missed it.
I would say that.
But that's what I remember the most. But honestly, just going out there and just playing hard, on the defensive end and making an impact.
That was a great pill off by the Raptors. Shed went for the steal. Diving in, Alijah Martin. Shed. And the Raptors.
The guys went on they had a little. Me and the guys came in and made a spark, got the guys back into the game, and that was what I remember the most.
Hearing you say jittery is just a surprise to me, because anybody that's watched you with the Raptors or 905 or even with Florida, you just seem like the most confident human being on earth. Is that a rare feeling for you to get those jitters?
For sure, but I love it because that's when I feel like I play the best. But confidence is key, the whole every sport, it's all about confidence, and I try not to lack it.
We talk about confidence. For the 905, when I'm doing the sidelines, I sit behind the hoop closest to your guys' bench, so I can hear you guys during the free throw attempts, which your mama's here taking video, so I know you can't say what you're saying, but can you take me through the art of the free throw trash talk?
It's more of I'm trying to gain confidence and take confidence as well. Because, we're competing, and there's only going to be one winner. And just trying to get the ups on anybody at any time, just so the chances of us winning is a little higher. But that's part of the game that I just enjoy, is just trash talking. It just makes the game so much fun.
What does your mom think of it?
I don't know. I heard her say something about it last week at Orlando, because she was sitting courtside and she heard everything then. So she was just like, you love talking trash. I was like, yeah, I do.
Well, it made me laugh. There's a young girl here for the camp, and she was yelling when someone else was shooting, brick, brick. Like, yes, that is like the cleanest thing you could say.
Sport needs trash talk. There's no sport in the world that'll be the same without trash talk. So I encourage it.
I enjoyed. It's entertaining for me. But something else that was entertaining for me was hearing how you cleared the snow off of your car recently. You used a golf club, my guy. Please tell me about a scraper since.
I definitely got a scraper. Shout out to Nikki, one of our trainers with the Raptors in 905. She gave me a scraper. Once she heard it, I used my my putter to get the snow off. But I got a scraper down here for sure.
Thank heavens. If not, I know all Raptors Nation will be buying you a scraper.
It's an OVO or something like that.
I need to ask you, you posted on TikTok, your crash out song of the year is Kiss Her in Front of You by Morgan Wallen. Why does that song hit so much?
I can't wait to kiss her in front of you.
I don't know. It's just so relatable. I've been in the country music a lot lately, but it's just so relatable. It's meaningful. Rap is kind of like dying or whatever, but I still love rap. It got a special part in my heart, and I listen to it every day. But I don't know, that song just it is different.
It's the Morgan Wallen effect. Two other firsts that happened was the first time you experienced the conga line. What was that like? And like G-Temp, just the moves are wild.
Yeah, I can't really get my rhythm. I'm the third in line. So Jamal be off a little rhythm, and then I'll be way off, and everybody else be way, way off. So it's just fun. It brings energy, gives the bench energy, stay engaged the whole time, and we ready.
So if your rhythm's off, it's Jamal's fault. We can just say that about Jamal.
It's Jamal for sure.
Cabbie? Pardon me?
Did bro say rap is dying?
Yeah, I wasn't
did.
picking
Come
up
on,
on.
Elijah.
I wasn't.
did.
We're gonna have him
What?
on the pod where you can pick
Yeah.
up on this, and I was like,
Yes.
I did not brace you for this moment, but when I heard
Cab,
that, I was like,
I feel, Cab, you have a retort that you need to get off your chest right now.
It's never been more alive. My guy mentioned OVO. Yo, the guy whose brand is OVO's got the Iceman is coming, my dude. The Iceman is
the
coming.
guy that sued his
to
record label.
dominate the track. The Billboard Hot 100 with, I don't know, 17 of his songs will be on there all at one time, as every time he releases an album, 10 of his songs are immediately on the Billboard Hot 100. It's him and Taylor Swift can do that. Rap is very much, I can't wait for him to be on the pod, because there's going to be a point of contention, Lindsay. I'm glad that, I'm not glad that he said it, but I'm kind of glad that he said it, because we have a bone to pick with Alijah Martin when he's on off the roster in the future. So please make that happen.
Agreed that he will come on off the roster to talk to us in the future. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, I cannot wait to hear Cabbie's response. But I will also say a lot of people don't consider Drake rap, but we can get into that another time, because it's not me. It's not me. I just wanted to see your eye roll. That's just something. I don't think that is Elijah's take on it. Either way, he's a lovely human. Tonight he'll be playing with the 905. Jonathan Mobo is on assignment for Raptors 9 to 5. That was just announced a couple minutes ago by Raptors PR. They are taking on the Knicks G League team. You can watch it on NBA TV Canada, where guess what? You can see my mug. And I hate when they take on the Knicks. I hate when they take on the Knicks farm team guys or G League team, because I cannot say Westchester Knicks.
Westchester Knicks.
It's such a thing. I'm not joking. OG Anunoby made fun of me when I was in New York a while ago, because I was telling him, like, I don't even know where this is. He's like, how don't you know? And I couldn't say the word over and over again. I'm like, okay, this conversation is over. But anyways, lovely human being, and Alijah Martin giving back to the community so young and so early. Just all around stand-up kid that we'll see Cabbie absolutely take down when he's on off the roster. But let's see if you can take it down with your Proline pick of the day, guys, because when watching your favorite sports, make things interesting with Proline. You must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus online for Ontario residents only. And hey, please play responsibly. Dan, Leafs are in action. I feel like that's the way you're going to go.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Leafs tonight, and the injury report is pretty long right now for the Maple Leafs, as we discussed earlier in the show. Austin Matthews, a game time decision. So you know what? It's going to be the guy who handed over the captaincy to Austin Matthews that is going to have to help carry the Leafs tonight against the New Jersey Devils. So I'm going with a John Tavares anytime goal for the Maple Leafs tonight. We've seen Matthew Nyes get in on the power play action. Leafs power play is buzzing lately. Maybe JT gets a power play marker tonight to help the Leafs keep this good win streak, or at least point streak, going over their last 3 games.
I like to play, Dan. These picks are for entertainment purposes only. Light sprinkles, people. The Montreal Canadiens are on a 7-game road swing right now, and I'm looking at their captain, Nick Suzuki, to get a Fanatics pre-Olympic announcement bump. He's got 14 points in his last 14 games. I'm looking at Nick Suzuki to score an anytime goal in Sunrise, Florida, against the back-to-back Stanley Cup defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Nick Suzuki is the play for entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment purposes only, his jersey also was on Fanatics as a Team Canada member.
Yes.
But entertainment purposes, I can't wait. We have a lot of videos we're going to show right now, including one involving William Nylander that may make like the hair on your arms go up. Actually, you know what? Let's go to that now. I was going to do Dan's gift to his wife, but
Look at him. Give the camera a hug.
This is on Nylander's YouTube channel. It's posted it last night. And he's in Washington. He's going to dinner with Rasmus Sandin, a friend from Sweden. And here they are. Oh my gosh. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, so for the audio audience, Sandin is driving a G-Wagon and they're trying to... Oh my gosh. They're trying to go to an underground parking. The height is only 6'3", but a G-Wagon's height is 6'5", is 77 inches or 80 inches, or 6'7", or whatever it is.
No.
And this dude scrapes the top of his G-Wagon. Nylander goes up to inspect it. He's like, the scrapes aren't as bad. And then they walk by the entrance to the underground parking, and it's just destroyed. Like
Oh,
Sandine even took out the parking arm. Like, how do you even take out the parking arm to let you into the garage? It's just so it's either he leased the G-Wagon, which I feel bad for the dealership that would returns it, because no one's gonna look in the top. I was just like, make sure, like when they do an inspection of the car, no one looks on the roof of the car, especially not a G-Wagon that's like 6'5". You have to like climb onto the side to see the top. So, and then like whatever that, I'm sure Sandy can pay for it, but I imagine that paint job is not going to be cheap to repair the gashes from the concrete ceiling of a underground parking garage. That won't be cheap.
I hope Nylander was like, the proceeds of this YouTube video will go to Rasmus Sandin's vehicle repair.
Yeah, no doubt.
That just made me actually like queasy.
Have any of you guys done anything that stupid before? Or like even bumped like retaining walls or retaining bars or structures in a parking garage? Any parking garage mishaps?
Oh man.
No,
so I'm
no
a great
parking
driver,
garage
but
mishaps.
Yeah, I have. Absolutely. When I first moved here, I was not used to the parking garage and how, tight the spots are. And I absolutely clipped a giant pillar, but it was very nice and it left paint on my car forever. But I have a new one, so I don't have to remind myself of that. But while we're here talking about people and really bad driving errors, when I lived back in Saskatchewan, those giant garbage bins outside that are like for restaurants or whatever, like the big commercial ones. My husband walked by it to go to the vehicle, seeing that it was behind the car, and then backed up right into it. Anytime I can take a shade at his bad driving, I will, which is why I absolutely am the driver. But Dan, the chat has been going off. They've been wondering, what did you get your wife as a gift? And before you say that, I just want to now give my husband credit. He did something sweet. I really love hot chocolate from a local coffee shop around here, but honestly, $7 for hot chocolate every day is ridiculous. And they put whipped cream on top. It's delicious. So he bought me like a coffee machine and everything, and he got like whipped cream so I can put it on top of the hot chocolate. So while I do a shot of whipped cream, tell us what you got.
Yes, Lindsay just did she just pulled out the whipped cream and did a full shot of.
Isn't that called something when you get like the chemical?
A whippet.
A whippet.
Yeah, but I didn't do it right. Okay. I'm just getting glorious whipped cream.
Okay, okay, a little bit more. Why not? Okay, so now that I have that act to follow, so as you know, like it was definitely a panicked situation. We officially moved date from Vancouver to Toronto was December 21st. Now we're focusing on the move, so it's hard to think about a Christmas gift at that time. I decided, you know what? Once we get to Toronto, I'll figure it out then. And of course, it gets to December 23rd. I still haven't had time to go get a gift, so I run over to Yorkdale. Total panic buy. But I had to get something for her to open on Christmas, and so I panic bought a handbag that I knew she wanted, but it was the wrong one.
No.
But I knew it was the wrong one because she wanted silver hardware on the handbag rather than the brass colored hardware. But the silver one was sold out, so I had to get it because I didn't know what else to get. It was total panic buy. I was freaked out. And
it was close though, man. It was close.
It was close enough. And I was like, you know what? She can return and we'll figure it out after Christmas. And this was my brilliant plan. She opened it and I could see the immediate disappointment on her face, of course. Because she's like, you knew the one that I wanted, and this is not the one that I wanted. So yes, and I did eventually, I made up for it. In that we returned the bag. It was sold out in the proper version that she wanted. Was able to sell that. I knew it was sold out, but I needed you to open something on Christmas. We returned the bag, and I ended up getting a bracelet for her. So in the end, I came out on top. She's very happy. I was able to walk it back and get the dub on this one, but it was.
Good recovery.
We maybe had to go a little over budget than we were anticipating, but that's in the
Wait,
panic
the
buy
bracelet
mode.
was more than the bag?
It wasn't a very expensive handbag, so it was a little bit more expensive bracelet. It was slightly ahead of budget, but we made it work. Is all I'll say.
Proud of you, buddy. You didn't get a gift card. We will give you a round of applause. I was going to say, I'll invite her over for a cup of hot chocolate. I'll buy different whipped cream that I didn't just like absolutely non-sanitize that lid. But congratulations on not being in the doghouse. You mentioned, the silver medal on there. But when we talk about gold medals, who's a lot of them? Andre DeGrasse. And he will be joining the show tomorrow for an exclusive interview. Very exciting moment that will be happening. Nice. So we're going to have him on the show. We're going to talk about Mambo number 5. And guess what? I'm going to have whipped cream. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness.
So good.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more off the roster content, make sure to like and hype this video